Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and I'm going to do a little bit about this new Stylecraft Impressions Aran weight yarn that I've just got in my shop. Now I only have this colour at the moment because it was the one that really grabbed my attention, and I'd not seen it before, obviously, because it is a newish yarn and I wanted to see what it looked like. So it is 100% acrylic, the softest, honestly, acrylic. Absolutely beautiful and soft. It's got 220 meters, 240 yards. It's 100 gram skein. And let's have a look, see if it's got anything else. Aran weight, so it's a 4-weight worsted, I believe you like to call it, across the pond. It is machine washable, 30 degrees, and there we go, the other washing instructions. And this one is called Grand Canal. So what really kind of drew me to it was the fact that it's got all these really lovely kind of pinks. There's almost a rusty colour there, but it's got all those kind of watercolours that you associate with a Monet or a Manet. I can't remember which one. I think it's Monet. All those beautiful lights that come in and those beautiful pastel shade watercolours. And it's got all of those in them. It's got some mauves and pinks, and it's not white. It is very, very pale kind of lilac-y colour. And it just moves the colour so well throughout the yarn. So I wanted to swatch it up and have a little look to see how it worked up and what it looks like. So it worked up extremely well, I have to say. But I want to show you the strand, because this is the ball I've been working on. And it's not, although it is, you can see it's kind of wound, it comes apart quite easily. But I didn't find it split. I used a tulip Etimo. I was trialing the Clover Amours, but I couldn't find the 5mm. I'd been using it for something and I misplaced it. So I went back to my tulip Etimo red, and I found it did not split at all. But the Clover Amours are kind of renowned for not splitting anyway, so I think it would have been very similar to use it. Now it has a wind, as you can see, it really does, but I don't know, I just found it felt very cotton-like when I was working with it. It felt very much like their Aran cotton yarn, which I really, really love, called the Stylecraft Savannah. And it did have that feel when using it. It's so incredibly soft, it's unreal. Okay, so I didn't do lots of swatches, I just did one, and it is still attached. So this was the first side, and I started off doing half trebles in the UK, which is half double. And then I wanted to see what it looked like if you put ridges in it. So if you were making a ribbed hat or a pattern where you had a ridge, I wanted to see how it worked with that. So then I went back to the half double crochet, or half treble as we call it in the UK, and I must admit I did like the way the ridges work out, more so on the small stitch, which is a double crochet in the UK but a single crochet in the US. So from there I decided I wanted to see what it looked like with a UK treble, which is a double crochet in the US, so the taller stitches. And I have to say, I preferred it. Now, there's most stitches I find look better with a half treble or half double. But for this particular one, I think the yarn really came into its own with the taller stitch. So not satisfied with that, I wanted to see how it would look if I did moss stitch. So this is the traditional moss stitch, which is a UK double or a US single, one chain, repeat, and then you go on the next row in the space that you've made. So that was how it looks with a moss, and I then preferred that stitch to the other. Out of the normal kind of everyday stitches, I felt the treble looked better. It made use of the colour, and the colour changes a little better, but the moss stitch really really did look nice. So then I thought, okay, that's what moss stitch looks like. What does it look like if I do it as a half treble or half double and then the chain? So a kind of a moss stitch with that kind of stitch. And this is how it looks. So it has got a bit of a mesh to it. But I do like that stitch. But I think the two best stitches that showcase this yarn are moss stitch, which brings out all of the colours in quite a different way, to the long stitch of the UK treble or US double crochet, which I feel does look better than these stitches, and it ridges quite nicely as well. So I didn't see what it looks like if you did front post and back post stitches, because I feel like that we kind of would know by these stitches really what it will look like, because although you're doing a treble or in the US a double, you're going behind and it makes it shorter. So I think my favourite one has got to be the moss stitch. It does look really, really nice in that stitch. Equally nice though and I don't usually like row after row of UK trebles or US double crochets. They're not usually my cup of tea, but also it coincided with the yarn changing, because this part, as you can see, that's still the same stitch but it's pinker, but the yarn was changing to a bluer looking vibe. So those stitches started here, so you can see if it was the pink part, that's what it'd look like. But I feel like when you're doing the actual moss stitch, which ended there, it kind of deals with those colour changes in a much smarter way. So that's my swatch, and we'll have a look at it in its entirety. Obviously, when I started doing moss stitch, it pulled in, but the stitch count was identical. So obviously, if you're doing usual kind of half trebles, or as the US call them, half doubles, it does have a wider kind of drape as well. So it drapes well and it's wider. But once you start doing other stitches, it does pull in somewhat. As you can see, it kind of went without any shaping at all, without any decreasing, same stitch count, and likewise it was going to pull out once I finished doing that, and I just did one row of half trebles there, half double US. So there you go, that is the swatch. What do you think of it? Tell me, do you like this yarn? I have to say, I think it's absolutely beautiful, really, really lovely. And when I put in my next Stylecraft order for my shop, I might just get some more varieties, but I wanted to see what it was like. As soon as I saw it on the shelf sort of thing, online, the shelf, I really wanted to get my hands on it and have a good look at it and sort of feel it and see what it was about. But yeah, I really, really like it. I think it's got great potential. So what I might do now I've used this skein is I'm going to undo it and perhaps make either some mittens or a hat with it, because I think it'd be perfect for a hat. It's nice colour changes. So I might just do that, and you never know, there might be a tutorial for it. So thank you for watching. I'd like to hear your opinions. Let me know what you guys think, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and then hopefully you'll be informed when the new videos pop up. And I do intend to do a lot more swatches. I got some Christmas yarns in at the same time as when I purchased these for my shop, and I'm going to see what they work up like. They did provide with swatches of knitting, as they usually do. You can see on the yarn band there's a knitted swatch. You can't really see it too well because it's very small, but they don't usually show us crochet swatches. So I'm going to be doing those. And if you haven't found my shop, there is a link in the description box, and also a voucher code that's valid from now until the end of December, with that will be every single order placed, not just once, so you can use it many times, and that will be in there as well for cut and pasting. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments about this beautiful yarn.